Let's dive into the introduction to threat hunting. And we're going to look at three different things here. This overview of threat hunting is one, what is the definition and the purpose of threat hunting? Two is what is the difference between threat hunting and incident response? Because honestly, sometimes in IT, people jump into response before they understand what's even going on. And that is like super dangerous. So we don't want to do that. The role of a threat hunter. What is a threat hunter? What does a threat hunter do? So let's walk through a scenario here. Imagine you're a security analyst at a financial institution. One day you notice unusual activity on the network. After investigating, you discover that an unknown entity has been accessing sensitive customer data. This suspicious activity leads you to perform a thorough threat analysis. You identify the threat actor, their methods, and their potential impact on the organization. By understanding what threat analysis is and how to conduct it, you can prevent further damage and strengthen the institution's security posture. So that's the proper flow. You notice what happened at the beginning of the story. You're working at a financial institution. You noticed unusual activity. You discover that an unknown entity is accessing sensitive customer data. Stop. Hard stop. Okay. There's something that happened that now drives you to do something next, right? There's identifying a factor here. Something has happened. There's an event. There's this event is now causing you to dive deeper. You identify the threat actor, their methods, and potential impact on the organization. Stop. Now, this has to happen before you just decide to start implementing. Oh, we got to have some new security. Let's just throwing stuff at it, trying to fix this problem. And you can't really fix what you don't know. So you've got to learn first. That's why all of this learning about what is happening in this incident, now it's turning into this incident, right? By understanding what threat analysis is and how to conduct it, now you can take the right track. Let's give you another one here. Consider a manufacturing company that has recently deployed some new IoT, right, Internet of Things based system to streamline its operation. Shortly after the deployment, the company starts experiencing unexplained disruptions. The IT team conducts a threat analysis to get to the root cause. They discovered that a threat actor exploited a vulnerability in the IoT system to disrupt the production. The purpose of the threat analysis was to identify the threat, understand its impact, and develop a plan to mitigate future risks. All right. So this one was the IT team. They discover a threat actor. Somebody exploited a vulnerability in the IoT, Internet of Things system. Now, again, this process is required. Let me give you an example of where it goes off the rails. I'm working in education, and one morning I come in, and the entire wing is down for our wireless network. There's no wireless, there's nothing, no jacks are working, nothing. Entire wing of the school. And I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to solve this problem. So I start like looking at the IPs. I start looking at, the switch ports. I start digging into all of this stuff. And I'm spending hours of time thinking, why is this down? And my brain is completely in the wrong direction. So I walk into the closet where there's a sub switch. Totally forgot there was a sub switch that went down to this wing. And I walk into this closet. I see the switch. I'm like, oh, dang. And there's a cord hanging there. Somebody from the maintenance department had intentionally unplugged a cord that went down this wing. That person soon no longer working for this school. But this person had done something, I don't know if they thought they were playing a prank or what. Now I'm spending hours of my resources trying to find the solution to the problem, and I'm having a hard time getting to root cause. Now apply that to a situation like this. You're getting a company that starts experiencing some service disruptions. And rather than just draw a conclusion, oh, it must be a threat actor, right? It's got to be a threat actor. This is what we have to do. It must be malicious. It's much better to take your time and gather the information required and then take your action appropriately after. Sometimes you can even do damage in the long run because you create extra work. Oh, I need to change a script. I need to do this. I need to do that. And all of a sudden you're taking this reactionary standpoint. Well, you just got to get information. You have to understand the scenario. So that's super important. Let me give you one more here. Healthcare organization maintains a large database of patient records. Protecting this sensitive information is critical. HIPAA, right? When the organization detects, if you don't know what HIPAA is, go look it up, HIPPA. When the organization detects a potential data breach, it performs a threat analysis to assess the situation. The analysis revealed that an insider was responsible for the breach. So now, could this be an insider threat? Maybe. By conducting a thorough analysis, the organization identifies an insider threat, understands how the breach occurred, and implements stronger access controls to prevent future incidents. This highlights the importance of threat analysis as safeguarding sensitive data and maintaining trust. All right, let's jump back into the outline here. So, definition and purpose of threat hunting. Threat hunting is a proactive approach to identifying takes information, and mitigating threats that have evaded detection by automated security tools, right? So whatever the tools are that are in place, maybe things went underneath the radar. Now, sometimes your security tools are going to be your indication that something has happened. Sometimes your security tools are going to be the alerts, right? They're going to be the canary in the cave, right? That chirp that when they fall over dead, they're not chirping, they're falling over dead because they run out of oxygen. Something's wrong, right? Look at the canary. So the purpose is to uncover hidden threats before an organization has to all of a sudden deal with this fallout and damage. Threat hunters look for IOCs, indicators of compromise, and tactics, techniques, procedures. Going to get into that may indicate the presence of some sort of malicious activity. And this is one of the biggest things here. 112, if you're looking at the outline. I was trying to throw this in with the stories as well. Threat hunting is proactive, continuous search for unknown threats. You're looking at things, you're analyzing things, you're getting the information, you're understanding data. What happened? What is the record that shows that this happened, right? So you've got to have some information that you're working from. I don't have a book sitting right here. I was going to say the information is like a book, and you're like referencing back and forth. Well, we've got this happened here and this happened here, and you're tying together. It's like when you're watching one of these movies when they're trying to figure out who the murderer is, and you got this person that's got the big board on the wall, and they got the names and places and faces and all that stuff, and they're tying stuff off to stuff, and they're trying to figure it out. That's the exciting world of threat hunting. You're taking all of these pieces and you're trying to figure out what happened. So there's a difference, though. Incident response is the reaction, right? Threat hunting is the proaction on the front end. Incident response is the reaction on the back end. So the reaction now, so threat hunting says this, mitigate doing this. Here are some ideas for how to solve this problem. That gets passed off to an incident response team. They're taking that. Now they're reacting to the report and they're saying, oh yeah, okay, let's change this. Let's change that. Let's do this. Let's get rid of this file. Let's make sure Sally's computer is not infected. They're walking through these mitigation steps, and that is the difference between the two: threat hunting, and incident response. Proaction, threat hunting. Reaction, taking the report and taking action on it. You cannot take the incident response before the threat hunt. And I've made that mistake myself. I've got 25 plus years experience in tech, and I've done it. There's been times where I think I know the answer to the problem. So I jump in and I change something. I change something in the script. And all of a sudden it's like, that didn't work. And let me try this. That didn't work. That didn't work. Well, before you know it, I'm trying to undo this whole stack of changes because I wasn't even really sure what the problem was. I was guessing. I was trying to throw a solution. It's like, what's 5 plus 23? Nope, that's not the answer, Dana. I was going to ask you what 5 plus 5 was, and you threw out the answer, 23. You can't throw out the answer before you know what the question is. So threat hunting is finding the question. Okay, so the role of this, you're monitoring security logs, you're analyzing network traffic, you're conducting threat assessments, creating threat reports, and the skills required: strong analytical ability. Got to be able to use this up here and dive deep chains of logic that drive you. And a lot of times, I'm telling you, for me, I got to write this stuff down. I got to be thinking through it. I got to be mapping it out. Got to take a diagram, whatever it is, to help ease the pain when you break away from a project and you come back into it and you're trying to get yourself back into the same mental state as when you left it. Because sometimes it can take 15, 20 minutes, even longer, to get back into the same mental state of the logic flow that you were in when you were, walked away from something that's deep logic. So strong analytical skills. You've got to know some of these cybersecurity tools. Now, the cool thing is that the tools are so well documented. You can just hop online. You can hop on YouTube, whatever. You can get walkthroughs. How do you set up a Kali Linux box? How do you do this? How do you do that? How do you analyze this code? How do you run a Python, whatever, So the tools out there are really easy to get into in today's world. You've got to get this understanding of protocols, network protocols, and an understanding of TTPs. So now I've been in IT for 25 years. So I'm able to apply a lot of what I've learned already and apply it, layer it onto this idea of creating threat analysis reports. For you, it might be different. You might be having to build some of this knowledge from scratch, and that's okay. So if I throw out things and you're like, I've got no idea what that is, just pause and look it up and see if you can figure it out. And you can certainly ask questions. I'd be more than happy to try and answer any of the questions that you have as we go through this. All right, see you in the next section.